We lost this type of game in August for me. This comes down to not signing. But no sympathy for nobody. No sympathy for no one. 0-0, folks. Only thing I can complain about, they should be down to 10 men and there was time wasting, but that's clutching at straws. If I'm talking about that, that's dead. Lacazette had a chance, Smith Rowe had a chance. As two decent chances in the game, really. A bag of hot smoke and whatnot, nothing else. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. You're over relying on young players. Saka's lost a bit of form. You know, Smith Rowe's working his way back. Martinelli's shown that while he's proactive, he gets on the ball, decision making, like trying to do superstar stuff. The young players are volatile. We cannot keep going relying on these guys as they're developing and making inroads to turn it on every game. You know, I blame everyone. That sort of game was lost in August. You know, yes, two individuals who played no part got suspended and as a result are not there. But we know these things are part and parcel of a season. You have to judge your squad at the weakest. And Lokonga is known as a backup. I'm not scapegoating Lokonga, but this is our team at its minimum. It's not able to function, you know. Within the injuries and stuff, there's not much the gaffer could do. We had to bet on the squad, but we had to bet on what we had. You did see a change in how we're playing. Lokonga was a bit more stationary throughout. You know, our fullbacks, apart from the second half, weren't really joining the attack. But that's because of the lack of planning, going back to when Partey arrived at this club. This, just like Liverpool showed why we need a number 6 and we need a number 8. This game today showed why we need a number 8 and we need a striker, you know. We've got no forward. Lacazette, you know, big him up. He good with the young players, general playing stuff. But there's a game where none of that bullshit matters. You just need to score. The chance that was presented wasn't taken. And it's another game you're looking at Lacazette. Although you're getting minimal opportunities, you're not taking them. We're relying on young players. We look deserted in the midfield. The build-up players predictable and forced. There's no number 8, so our centre halves are doing predictable things and forcing it. We're banging long balls forward, which we are getting a tune out of Saka and Martinelli at some points in the game, but it became predictable. And long balls forward against Burnley, we can all understand why that's not the smartest thing to do. I said this team is going to win or lose by midfield. We're going to look at this January period as where we won or lost this top 4 race. Boy, I don't want to say your race for Europe, for top 4 Europe is over, but it's a massive week. Spurs grinded out a result against Leicester. We're hoping Chelsea does a favour now. West Ham lost to United. Boy, troublesome. It's 2 points dropped. Big 2 points dropped. And based on Ramsdale's save towards the end, you could argue, you know, it's a point gained. You know, it was always going to happen, really. You know, I did think as much as Arteta's hands are forced, and I'm more angry at Arteta and Eddie because you could see this happening in August. You know, your hands are forced. I did think it was a bit cowardly. You should have at some point just gambled on one of these young players or one of these strikers. I'm sorry, but I don't understand how Lacazette got 90 minutes today. I'll be real. I don't understand how he got 90 minutes. It's when it rains, it pours, isn't it? Really and truly, you know. That's a big blow to your top four chances, and you can feel them slipping away now. For me, as the game went on, our standards started to drop. Second half, there was a point where we really turned it on. Smith Rowe making some lovely runs forward, but a lot of hot smoke, a lot of playing well or whatever. Ultimately, can't do enough, and it's already what we know. Any team that sets up half decent in terms of a defensive structure, man, them are going to struggle. Because Burnley, credit to them. Burnley weathered the storm if there was some, you know. They defended well. They were rigid. 2 banks of 4-4-4-2, difficult to break down. Played for the set pieces, played for the counter-attack. Their game plan worked. They picked up a point, you know. Considering they've probably got 200 games to play this season, that's good for them. It's a point gain for them. But is what it is, man. We still look like a team that's feeling sorry for ourselves. We still look like a team that doesn't understand you have to really want it. For me, it comes to the approach. We didn't start the game necessarily well. You know, the second 25 minutes in the first half was better than the first 20. You know, we lost the game, but Liverpool, you started well in the first 20. And then literally in minute 22, you conceded. But why are you not starting that fast? Why are you not starting that fast? It's not working out. I think that's just a you problem, Brian, to be fair with you. Like, you know, that game was predictable, you know. Again, it was almost like the variables when we went out there, we had to play those, we had to win that game. Anything else, there would be problems. If we had to draw for the bench or other variables, it is what it is, man. You know, and any midfielder or striker or midfielders you lot are looking at, there's some more zeros being added, really, you know. And for me, again, I know Lacazette's got 90 colours, hardly anyone available, but maybe you could have gambled with something else, really. It looked like, you never know, young players could save you. I'm not quite with all of this bringing on them young players in that game because they're going against one of the most street smart teams, but need a bit of randomness, man. You need a bit of randomness for what's happening, man. It's boy, man. You know, decision making poor again. Again, for me, it's when we was chasing the game where stupid passes. I think certain players were just making bad mistakes. The passes are not as crisp. We're looking frustrated. It's a mixed bag, really. It's a mixed bag, and it's a disappointed way to end January, really, because we ain't got no games no more. We're not playing till February. And you look at the run of games to come, you got to go to Wolves now on the 10th. That's going to be difficult. Wolves are doing quite well. We welcome Brentford. You got to go to Watford. Them sort of teams are fighting relegation. We've got Leicester. I know they bottled against Spurs. That's not easy. I know nobody wants to go and play Aston Villa. We got them in March. No one wants to go away to Villa right now with Gerrard. Definitely don't want to go Crystal Palace on the best of days, especially with Patrick Vieira. I know you lot don't want Brighton at home and then Southampton away. Bro, March to April's peak. I can't lie. We haven't even got into February, but, you know, February, what? We only played 2 games against Brentford and Wolves. Look at March, you know, and this makes these things costly. You've got Watford away, Leicester, Villa. Then April is fantastic, you know. You've got Palace, then you got Brighton, then you got Southampton away, and you got United, and you got West Ham. Boy. And this is where I told you, look, stop drawing conclusions, man. The team did fantastic to claw their way back. You know, it was a disastrous start. We found our way in terms of, you know, getting back with something to play for. And I told you, look, stop getting excited. They've got to earn the right to play. You know, if these boys want top 4, these guys want to go far in cups, it's down to them. Let themselves down across 2 legs. Let yourself down in the FA Cup. And I'm more so on the recruitment because we should never been in scenario to go to Nottingham Forest with Lokonga and Patino. And today we would, you know, let's have it right. The 11 is good enough to get a result out there, but in reality, we know people are tired. We know there's injuries. We know we're inconsistent. So the players didn't do well enough, you know. And again, it comes down to recruitment. You know, this game, it was evident that you needed an 8 and a striker, and that's 2 points dropped. And we're going to drop more points this season. We're not going to win every game. So especially this week as well, you saw United grind out a performance, you know. They're creeping back up the table. You see in Spurs, obviously, they've got Chelsea, and I think they're actually going to beat them. Shout out to Burnley because their game plan worked. But it just any team that it deploys a low block or a deep unit, it's difficult. It's very difficult for us to break them down. You know, we're very predictable. And just our certain squad players are just not good enough, really and truly, or just it's terrible, man. It's a frustrating day, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, man. There's nothing else you can say. Focus on Europa League now, innit? You can keep fighting for Europe and that, but boy, I told you lot I'd be wary of drawing conclusions with these lot. You lot too quick to say these guys have turned the corner. You know, saying we're this and that. Man are looking at Liverpool. They can drop points and this and that. Man are looking at Chelsea and saying we can open up third. Regardless of that, we need to win our games. Respectfully, I don't want to praise Liverpool or Chelsea. Them and they have done it for years / you know, whatever in it, years / whatever. We've done it for a couple of weeks, months top. There's a lot that we need to prove. This is why I tell you, look, when we're in good form or bad form, stop being quick to proclaim as we're doing stuff. We've got a young squad. It's a mixed bag. This is what's going to happen. Bitter pill to swallow. Because just feel that we could have offered so much more. Hardly the reactions. Our build-up play is very... It's predictable. It's stale. It's quite terrible. Boy, it is what it is, man. Let me know your opinions, people. It is what it is. Win, lose, or draw. Shout out to the Arsenal fans, Burnley fans, whatever you lot are out there, people. Win, lose, or draw, frustrating or not. You know, first things first, we've all got our health and whatnot. And now the shameless fans are coming up. Hey, my United brethren are giving me a lot of nonsense now. Well, you got to dish it out. You have to take it, man. You have to take it, man. I don't know what'll go on for us today, but... And it's just self-inflicted nonsense, like... The way guys move today, I never saw people going like, all right, you know what? We've been ramping. We saw the results of people around us. We know who people are playing later today. We know who we have next when the Premier League is back on. We need to take 3 points. It looked like in the first half, man are sleeping. And you saw that with a couple of passes. Ramsdale, respectfully, he made a couple of bad boy saves and saved us. But at the start, he was moving mad as well, you know. Lokonga for that Buki corner. You know, Saka had a second where he was looking dangerous towards the end of the first half. He's one of our most exciting players. I don't know what happened to him in the change room. And we've got to remember Saka's a young player. I don't want to get at him too much. He's been in the last 2-3 games, he's been absolutely shit, if I'm honest with you. But he's still my guy, still the guy. But this is where we're at. Are you telling me that we have to rely, as great as Saka is, anytime you're relying on him, Smith Rowe, and these guys to make the results, they're too young for that. I know they've got number 7 and 10 and we're doing things, but we need better players so that when things are going wrong, you know, you look at the Thursday game when we played Liverpool, Curtis Jones instantly look at Fabinho and these sort of guys. It's 2 points dropped. Well, it's not even congrats. I think Burnley did their thing, if I'm honest with you. Anytime we buck a street smart side, whether it was in the FA Cup or whatever, we're going to struggle. What I don't want to have is let's get at this player and not that player. Let's get at Edu, but not Arteta. Everyone has to take accountability. Whether it's Edu's fault for not bringing a midfielder in, maybe it's Arteta's fault for not betting on a midfielder. Maybe if you didn't bet on Xhaka, you know, to the point where Xhaka's a main player, him being sent off in a game couldn't affect us if he's third choice or whatever. I don't know. Arteta was thrown a mad hand that he's been dealt with, but I'm sorry, you know, while the consequences we have to use who we've got. We knew this, and this is your second full season, so you know that these things can happen, whether we're playing in Europe once or not. We'll, as I always say, whether it was on the pitch today or in general or whatever, it's like Arsenal, we like to stand in the rain and complain while we're wet. You have multiple options. You read the weather's forecast, stay your backside inside, you get an umbrella, or you get a rainproof jacket. But if you stand in the rain and say, "Why am I wet?" Who's to blame? You're the idiot. You felt the 2-2 rain on your head, you didn't bust out. I use that. Hey, this is what I didn't know cricket had entertainment like this. Hey, maybe the result ain't too bad. Hey, I run a live stream, and so yeah, man, that's that, innit? But hey, what's going on here? Okay, big man, just gotta hold it in it. It is where it is. Just gotta hold that up. Just gotta hold it. Boy, to be fair, it's the hope that kills you. A lot of Arsenal fans, you know, you lot started to think about, you know, we went from thinking about 6th and 8th and relegation, man, started dreaming about 2nd and 3rd. January's come and slap man down. 2022 has been a wake-up call. He's still not scored no goals. You know, how many goals have we scored in 2022, bro? 2022 has been a shit year so far for my club, man. It's peak right now. How many goals we scored? I don't even think we've bagged this year. We got sending off, though. Yeah, this year's been a bad. Oh, yeah, fair play. We got a goal this year. Hey, completely forgot about the City game. Hey man, who knew, man? It was all fun again. It was all good. It was all good in December, man. You know, Norwich away, 5-0, committed performance with some encouragement despite losing to City. Boy, in the lost. It's to City 2-1. Lost to Nottingham Forest. Didn't score against Liverpool in the 0-0. Again, celebrating courageous performance, but not necessarily walking away with anything. Got battered at the Emirates. Drew here. So 1 goal and a point in 2022. The good thing is everyone has to play 38 games, people, and how many Premier League games have been played so far? That's about 20-something. Boy, and considering we had technically a game in hand on some people, he turned into game in hand FC, and, you know, like Arsenal fans said, actual points on the board. It's funny. It is. I told you, look, the Premier League humbles you. It is a complete 360 for everyone. United fans piping up again, Spurs fans piping up again. In a few months, the league will humble them, and we'll get humbled again. And as we know, where the top four is concerned, it's whatever team stinks up the place the less. Spurs, United, West Ham have been stinking up the place as well as doing good this season. Like us, they've been a mixed bag, but we bottled it when them man they have taken points this week. Now narratives can change, but boy, frustrating. And like I said, you lot, I don't even think you lot deserve Sunday dinner, or any piece of chicken needs to get cut in half. Car, you know, not too many of you running around like you wanted to win today. Boy, in the day. Just got to hold it. Boy, get back to playing Football Manager. We're top of the table, isn't it? Really? Like, boy. And the thing is, you know, is there going to be any more signings in? And look at my brethren. My Spurs point brethren. I'm gonna keep quiet till 6 p.m. And the thing what we're gonna do, yeah, even though Lacazette was meaty, this Arsenal fans are gonna focus on that. This is what Arsenal fans do, yeah, when we don't get points. They're gonna focus all on Laka. Laka was horrible today. You know, all that general play, dropping in midfield is dead. It don't mean anything if when we need you to finish, you don't finish. But he's not the only talking point. He's one of the many cocktails. And I think Arsenal fans do this thing. It's all going to be Arteta. It's all going to be EDU. It's all going to be the players. It's all going to be individual players where there's multiple truths. Arteta has to use what he has to use today. But you and Edu were planning the squad, and you said if worse comes to worse, with AFCON and everything going on, this is the players. And in other ways, people have let you down, really. So you have to hold your L. It's still a decent enough team to put in a shift out there. They didn't do it. Can you see it improving? I don't know. Can you see it getting any better? I don't know. You know, Lacazette, okay, he missed. But what did we do? We never really cut open Nick Pope. I know Pope had the good save he made from Smith Rowe, but he never was under sustained pressure like that. There weren't real chances. Ramsdale's had to do more bad boy saves, arguably. You come into the Emirates with the, shout at the fans, and that didn't make it difficult. Didn't for a while there was a period in the second half and towards the end of the first half. But again, you don't get 3 points for periods, especially when you don't capitalize on them. You don't get 3 points for playing well. You get 3 points for winning. How many points have we dropped already this season? How many, and you've got to tally that up. Let me actually, and obviously I'm being a bit harsh, City, Liverpool, we're going to get our asses handed to us, but with no agendas. If you understand where I'm getting at, you need to, how much points have we lost really, and kind of count that up to where the top 4 race is concerned. So let's go all the way to the start of the season. We all know that was brazy. My word, where is the season actually starting? That's Europa League. Where is it? I've scrolled back way too much. The hell is it gone? It's taking me way too far. All right. So what? We lost to Chelsea. That's 3. No. Yeah, Chelsea, that's 3. City, that's 6. You only beat Burnley by a goal last time. So that's 6 points dropped. 8 points because we drew with Brighton. 10 points with Palace. 13 points with the Liverpool defeat. I would say we at least dropped a point. I'm not going to count this, but you can add up the points. You start looking at the dumb points we've dropped people. Brighton, we were lucky, but again, that Brighton game, we didn't start well. Palace, we switched off. Game management has cost us. United, you should have walked away with 3 points. We rocked up at Old Trafford and didn't follow runners. That's a 1 to 3 points dropped. Everton, at the time, you should be smacking them. They've only won 1 of their last 14. Who was that against? That's 3 points. You can't win them all, but still, I'm not going to get at us for losing to City, but we played well. We didn't get a result, to highlight the point. And we've drawn today. How much points has that dropped? Now, again, we can do the coulda, woulda, shoulda, but that's the benchmark. In some of these games, if we got 3 points, we'd have a healthier standard. And you look at the games we still have to come, we've got to play some very tricky individuals. Again, in no order from now to the end of the season: Wolves away, Brentford, Watford away, Palace away, Leicester at home, Villa away, Brighton at home, Southampton away, United at home, West Ham away, Leeds at home, Newcastle and Everton to end the season. So you lot tell me, man. It is what it is, isn't it? Really?